Welcome Libra to your Libra February 2021 reading. It's great to see you, great to see the subscribers again. It's always great to see you. Much love and affection to you always. We have great fun on this channel, don't we? For Libra, it's our good club here. It's different, it's good, and it's great to belong. Now, incidentally, I have a Libra card here for you, which I'm going to place at the top of the spread, which you'll see in just a second. And I'll draw 5 cards, because that's all we need for our monthly readings, as you know. But look, I'll mention that if you would like to have a personal clairvoyant reading with me, which uses tarot really towards the end, it goes for an hour, sometimes a little bit more. Then just check out the information that's in the description box below, and you can see how easy it is for that to happen from wherever you may be living in the world. But now, let's get the 5 cards, because I'm fascinated to do this for you. I'm looking forward to it. I've got a good feeling about what's coming through. Let's see what there is first up. The Hermit. Well, isn't that interesting? The Hermit. I think that you have got some good things to do. There's the 7 of Coins. Beautiful, beautiful artwork on this, as you'll see in just a second. This is a deck that, well, really you can't get it anymore. It's sort of like a collector's deck at the moment. There's the Knight of Wands. That's a fantastic energy for you. I can see that working very well with you, I've got to say. There's the 8 of Coins, and why wouldn't you have the 8 of Coins there? With the 7 of Coins as well, and finally the Hierophant. Most interesting indeed. Look, without any further ado, why don't we look at the imagery on these cards together while I do the reading for you. Now, next month's reading will be published on Wednesday, the 10th of February at 2 p.m. US Eastern Time. Now, I thought I'd give you a look at this Libra card first, just for your curiosity's sake, and see what it shows. That's what the artist has produced for you. You don't very often see a star sign card in a deck, do you? And I think that's rather interesting. There's the scales there. Lovely, graceful hand. Beautiful. Well, the Libra women are known as the most beautiful in the zodiac. There's the rose. Lovely. Anyway, just for curiosity's sake, now let's have a look at the reading. The Hermit. Hello, Hermit. What do you have to say? What do you have to say to me today? He says, I am the Magus of the eternal gods. Now, this is Venus in Taurus with the moon exalted. Well, Taurus is an earth sign, and this emphasizes the importance of applying your spiritual realizations in the day-to-day world, as the Hermit is somebody who really nails heaven to earth. Now, if you are not a teacher, a counselor, or a consultant, then you will have very strong skills in those areas there. People, I think, will be coming to you asking for your advice on matters. I think this indicates also the need for you to kind of follow rules and regulations at the moment. Don't be going along creating any Bolshevik revolutions. Follow the traditions in your life. Now, you may not mentally agree with the traditions in your life, but this is a time to kind of go along with them and pay them lip service at the very least. I think they could find that this is a period of quite intense learning and education for you. Now, I have to say that you may hear of someone becoming engaged to be married during this period. Certainly, you'll have the ability to teach people how to do things, and you'll find yourself as either a maternal figure to someone or a paternal figure to somebody, I'd say. Certainly this is very good for people in large organizations such as teaching, hospitals, medicine, or government service. I think you might be seeking out the advice of other people from time to time as well. You'll find that you are very gifted at imparting information and in inspiring other people. And you may well find that you are committed to the concept of togetherness, that we are in this thing together here and teamwork. You'll be strongly attracted to sounds, maybe also to music as well. And you'll be good at listening and speaking. And you're going to want to make your ideas tangible, that is, make them usable, be put into practice. I think you'll also find that there is a deep desire on you to be challenged by new experiences. Maybe you're feeling that you're getting in something of a rut and you want to spice things up in your life. Well, this is the time to be doing it. You may find that there are issues around family which need to be reintegrated here as well. I think that the search for the self leads you into the spiritual realms, actually, and maybe involve yourself, or just look up on the internet things to do with spirituality, or check out YouTube for such things. There's always plenty of good things there. And say this to yourself: I honor the sacred within me. I am inspired by learning and teaching. I am creative and productive in my family and work life. There is only one voice worth listening to, the voice of my own heart. Now, diagonally opposite him is another major arcana card, so we should have a look at it. And it is this one here, which is the prophet of the eternal, the magus of the voice of power. Let's have a look at it. Here it is. There we go. Otherwise known as the Hierophant. Well, again, I'm getting this time it's Mercury ruling Virgo, with Mercury exalted is the astrology of this card. And Mercury is all about communication and the intellect, and Virgo about practicality and organization. So I see, again, this idea of mentoring coming about through you, a love of learning again, an illumination in your life, almost as if something is coming from within, or as if it has been divinely inspired, great wisdom on your behalf. And so again, I'm getting this feeling of people coming to you and asking for your advice, for your counsel on how to sort out their problems, be they relationship problems or otherwise. There'll be a sense of you going inward to determine what is the best advice that you can give them in this case. Yeah, very interesting. Resting in your own center. You will be a very wise guide. And I think that this is a time when you will be exercising a great degree of patience to do with all areas of your life. I've got to say this also, is that with the other major arcana at this end of the spread, I think that this is very much a time when you will not compromise on your values. You won't be compromising on your values at this time. And as far as relationships are concerned, you either want a significant relationship or none at all. You want relationships in a romantic sense. You want a relationship that is deep, that goes all the way in. But it isn't just restricted to romance. It can also refer to social environments, work relationships. I think there's also the need to complete things from the past before moving forward. And you'll be quite gifted, I think, in manual work, things using your hands, creating things, making things. Certainly a very good organizer, and that's the Virgo aspect of here. This is a time for you to make sure that you look after your body and spruce up your surroundings. And I do see you here being a very good motivator to people. Now, it might well be that from time to time you do go inwards into yourself, that you seek some alone time. Well, if that is the case, accept your aloneness. Don't concern yourself with people who don't understand you, who would rather see you be part of the herd. And if you should meet a wise leader or teacher, then join them. Have you any unresolved situations or relationships in your life? Make a list of all situations which you now wish to resolve in some way so as to bring them to completion. Because whoever embarks on the search for the internal light must not be encumbered by unresolved conflicts. Accounts must be settled. You understand that, don't you? Say this to yourself: I enjoy the feeling of completion and resolution. I will not compromise that which is important to me. I enjoy my aloneness, because I can stop being alone whenever I want. This rulership of Mercury in this card gives you great creativity, and there's a great degree of fertility around this card as well. And expansion comes from Jupiter. Great energy for you this month, particularly in that position. Now, this is an interesting energy that's showing up above the Hermit, and I want to talk about this with you because I think it's quite important, I think. And it's this card here, which is the Seven of Coins. Now, the Seven of Coins for me in this position is Saturn in the third decan of Taurus, the 11th to the 20th of May. Now, Saturn is the slow-moving and restricting planet, and Taurus is a plodding, fixed earth sign. And together, they can give the impression of some stagnation. So you may find that there are delays in payments, that results that you're looking for are going to come about more in the long term. There is a slow and steady growth coming for you here. Now, you might have to wait for some money to come in, or you might be working through something of a dry spell. Really, your ability to deal with some things you might think is being blocked by dire and fearful expectations. But don't have any concern. The future isn't real, and what we worry about is never, ever anything that happens. Step back and analyze things. You'll find that things are not the end of the world. The other thing here is this, and I will make mention of it, is that for me, the number 7 is mystically associated with Venus. The number 7 is also mystically associated with me, with an area of divine emanation. That is the thought of the divinity in the creation of space and time. An area which we mystics refer to as victory. So those things where you feel you're not making any progress, or that you have fearful expectations about, you are overcoming them. You will have victory over them. Now, sometimes, people do have, let me put it this way. Many people muscle their way through things, ignoring everything but the goal. Although this may work in the short term, the costs can be high. And when we do this, we could lose touch with our bodies, our emotional needs, the needs and feelings of other people, our environment, and the very fabric of our being. Even the short-term result can end up skewed, for the action does not grow out of wholeness, but rather out of fragmentation. So we must learn how to keep going in a way that is gentle and has more balance. Now, this number 7 here, as I say, for you in this spread, positioned where it is up here, is about victory. And this requires pacing and sensitivity so that you can stay aware and take care of yourself while working hard at something. It is important not to override signals of imbalance. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean that you stop every time you get uncomfortable, but rather that you learn to discriminate when you need to make a course correction and when you need to endure a little discomfort. You learn when to push forward and when to back off. See, fitness training is a really good example. If you push too hard, you get injuries. Yet if you don't push hard enough, you don't build strength. So this energy here is an opportunity to reflect on how you meet long or difficult tasks. Do you put blinders on and go for broke? Do you bribe yourself with major treats? Can you stay responsive to yourself and to the larger situation along the way? Can you keep going when it gets boring or uncomfortable? See what your pattern is. Then ask yourself how you can become more skillful in staying with these challenges. Victory. Victory is yours. Now, we might have a look at, where have we been? Well, actually, here's the 8 of coins. This probably is diagonally opposite, so what does it have to say? Well, this for me is the Lord of Prudence. It is the Sun ruling at the first decan of Virgo, 23rd of August to the 2nd of September. Now, in the number 8 here, just as I had Venus associated with the number 7, here I have Mercury associated with the number 8. Now I have the Sun ruling Virgo in the card and Mercury in the number 8. Well, in ordinary astrology, Mercury is the planet of and is also exalted in Virgo. So this is extremely favorable. And here the Sun energizes Virgo's hard work and attention to detail. I must say that this card can also signify pregnancy and birth in this position, so be aware that if you don't intend to get pregnant, that you make whatever necessary arrangements might be required. This is asking you to maybe to recall or to consider that sometimes there is a strength in doing nothing at all. Sow the seeds, set back, and wait for the harvest. This is a time, I think, when you'll be quite cautious and take calculated risks, and you might be being quite careful with money. Now, learning and education, which we were getting from this Hierophant and Hermit, this is also coming in here as well. Physical caution, I think, is necessary, so just be careful if you're walking on any icy sidewalks. Attention to structure and detail is probably something you'll be looking at in relation to projects in your life. Now, that's because of the Virgo influence, but this is also about not overextending or underextending yourself, but rather it's about being in the sweet spot where you see everything laid out ahead of you. This is a time of flowering, of internal and external richness, wisdom, but that's also coming from these cards here. Development, carefulness, prudence. The rulership of the Sun in Virgo, I must say, that does suggest a birth. So you may well very hear of someone being pregnant or having a birth. I think what this is saying to you is that you need time and patience to develop something. Don't rush it as it's a long-term thing, and be prepared to bide your time and let it come to fruition. But this energy is an encouragement for you to keep doing what you're doing, as it is eventually going to lead to success. Now, sure, it's going to require a lot of dedication, a lot of focus and patience, but as time passes, you will get closer to your goal. Now, it may not be apparent to you, but events are unfolding around you that are going to lead you to your destination. And what you'll need to do, I think, is to ensure that you manage your energy between the different parts of your life. That which is coming into flower in you is of exquisite beauty and delicacy, just as this card here really was foreshadowing, I think. Now, provide for it the protection and nourishment it needs. You don't need to force anything. Everything unfolds at the proper time. Now, ask yourself, are you giving yourself the protection and nourishment you need now for your development? Sometimes just learn to say to yourself, I'm just going to sit back, go for the ride, and relax. Now, I think the final card, it is this one. Here he is. This is the Prince of the Chariot of Fire. Now, it's a young man, although gender can be fluid in these court cards, but I'll refer to it as a man for the obvious reason. A young man who is, well, who? Maybe a Leo, maybe a Cancer. Swift and strong, impulsive, violent, just, noble, generous, I think, with something of a sense of humor. Now, as the knight, he's air, and he's in the suit of wands, which is fire, so you have air and fire coming together, and what happens in that case? You have like a firestorm could come up. So what we have here is very complementary energy that's going through here. Do you know, this represents a turning point in your life when things have been going badly. And what you've got to do is you've got to use his energy now to move on to better things, because now is the right time to do it. You must wear the same confidence that he has. I think this is reminding you to re-engage with life and tackle any challenges that are coming your way, and have, importantly, a lust for life. This also speaks to me of blossoming love. Now that can be in a partnered relationship or one that's not. In a partnered relationship, I think it's one which is talking about a greater intensity that's there. And I think you'll have an intuitive creativity here. It's almost as if at this time you're coming out of the darkness and into light. Now this energy here stands for honesty and integrity, and so I think you will have a strong sense of morality, and it does represent a turning point when things have been going badly. This tells you also to make sure that you do engage with life. Look, you have all you need. Don't let yourself be contained. Don't let yourself be slowed down. Life is prepared to receive you. Trust your boundless creative potential. Ask yourself this: what challenges are present now in your life? Spread your arms wide and breathe deeply into your heart and say to yourself, I love life and life loves me. What a fantastic set of cards for you, Libra. Good job. That's the way it is for you this month. Well, I thought that was a fascinating reading, didn't you? It was great, very exciting, very interesting information coming through. Lots of things to think about, lots of things to prepare yourself for, and get things going, because you have got everything going for you. And there is actually one thing that I need to say, and it's this: make sure, look, if you did like the video, please do hit the like button. It does help the YouTube algorithm somehow or other. The YouTube gremlins do things, or elves, they go and do some stuff, and I'd appreciate that. But in the meantime, and until I see you again next month, remember one thing and one thing always, and it is this: that you are a legend. And I look forward to seeing you again next month. And until then, it's bye for now.